got a dig out starting lap 1, huh?
Yeah, they really do. And Kyle Busch is not probably the greatest spot to do that right here at Dover, but he's just going to have to be careful and sneak his way up there.
Very fast track. The fans have packed the place again. Round 2 of the chase is green.
Wow! Look at that 12 car go!
Well, Benny, Ryan Newman wasted little time. A lot of traffic back here, though.
Is that Kyle Petty? Looks like someone might have. It's a 45 car. I don't know if he got in the wall of 4 or not.
Gordon runs second. Matt Kenseth in the 17 is third.
I think that was Kevin LePage.
Was it?
The 49 car.
Instead of Kyle Petty. Oh, trouble. Waffle spins off turn 4 in that wall hard.
First caution.
That's a problem. If you wreck coming off of 4, you're going to wreck a lot. I mean, if you lose it getting off of 4, because you're going to go down and hit that inside wall a ton. And I know.
From experience.
I've done it.
Jimmie Johnson last year in qualifying, remember when he spun in qualifying and didn't hit anything? The very last car.
He was just way up high. He was on the gas. Man, you know, just that turn 4 area is really, really tricky. Looks to me like he just got up a little bit too high, maybe in the marbles.
That's what it looks like, that yes, he was too high in the corner. Now, later on in the race, that might be the groove, but not this early.
A rarity at Dover. A one-car wreck. Saw a few of those yesterday, too. Set a records for caution on Saturday. We'll see how this plays out. First caution is out at Dover. Still under caution here at Dover. Here are Team Chevy drivers to watch. Their best Dover finish. Gordon, a 4-time winner here. Jimmie Johnson, of course, swept as a rookie. Earnhardt Jr. Harvick's never won here. His best finish, a third. Our Chevy drivers to watch at Dover. Under caution after the crash by Travis Kvapil. Let's go back and look at this incident early in the race here. This is, watch 49 car right in front of the 7.
It looks like Robbie Gordon got into the back of LePage. Looked like LePage was a little bit loose there. He was trying to catch it, and he may have gotten out of the throttle a little bit, but that's what that big jam up we were looked at earlier when all these guys were 2-3 wide on the straightaway.
And Kevin LePage in that 49 car looks like he just brushed the outside retaining wall. Alan, any damage on that 49?
Kevin called into the team BP, said he just barely nicked it. The spotter looked at it, said, I think it's okay, and they said, all right, we'll just stay out then.
All right, good.
Field gets the 1 to go here with Ryan Newman, the race leader. So, BP, you believe these guys in the chase. You didn't get a chance to weigh in on this last week. You think they get a mulligan in this 10 race deal?
Yes, it's my opinion that you can have one bad race. And again, I understand that maybe 75% of the population thinks that's wrong, but I believe that you can have one bad race. The unfortunate thing for Jimmie Johnson and Kyle Busch, they still got Talladega to go to, and they don't have a mulligan left. So I don't think they do.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between a bad race and a DNF.
Right.
Or, I mean, I think if you're a 40th place back or you're DNF and you don't get the chance to come out and get points or whatever, I just think it's going to be real tough.
Yeah,
real tough for Kyle Busch and Jimmie Johnson. I mean, a lot of guys, all these guys in front of them are going to have some issues in the next 9 races. So, you know, Jimmie did come back last year. He won a few races and put himself right back into position.
But 2 years ago, he won 4 races and still couldn't win the chase.
Right.
Lost by 8 points.
That's right. See what happens this year. This race 2 of the 10 race chase for the Nextel Cup. Pace car to pit road. Ryan Newman brings them back to green. Drivers in yellow on the ticker. The 10 drivers in the chase for the championship.
Take a couple laps for things to get sorted out. Everybody's right down on the bottom right now. The further they run, the longer they put laps on these tires. They'll start seeing guys going to the top, actually finding places where their cars handle the best.
It's Greg Biffle in the high groove.
I don't think he wants to be up there. I think he kind of got kicked up there, and will get back to the bottom as quick as he can.
Mark Martin runs in the 7th spot. An update from Dave Burns.
And Bill, he was told that his teammate Greg Biffle was having trouble keeping his car down to the low side, and that's one of the reasons why he was aggressive with him and quickly went by him.
Now Martin looking inside of Joe Nemechek.
Talked to Pete Wright, the car chief on that 01 Army car this morning, and congratulated him on a great qualifying run. He said, now we just got to stay up in the top 5. We see that's not happening. That was a battle for the 6th position. He's now back to 7th and about to lose that to Kurt Busch.
Up trouble. Stewart and Kasey Kahne.
Kahne, one of the championship chasers. Talked to him on Friday about all the bad luck he's had at this track, and now more of it. Second caution of the race. Heavy damage to the 9 car of Kasey Kahne. Came in 8th in the championship standings.
Kasey Kahne up on the top. Oh, Stewart just loses it. Loses it down in the bottom, and Kasey Kahne just gets collected.
Has nowhere to go. On board with Kasey Kahne as he goes in turn 3, and he thinks he's good and safe, but Tony Stewart, the back end comes around, and up the racetrack he goes. There's nothing you can do about that in Kasey Kahne's situation.
There's guys down on the bottom of Kasey.
Still there.
See him up high. He couldn't turn left because Sterling was there.
Stay down.
Or David Stremme was there.
Good job. Caution's out. Real good.
So, yeah, he had no place to go.
Kasey had a DNF in his first 3 races here, 2 of them because of crashes.
Well, there's his mulligan for the chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup.
Tony Stewart's never had a DNF here in 15 races, but he's got a lot of damage now at Dover.
What happened, Kasey?
It looked like, you know, the 20 was a little loose. 20 was loose, and we were all battling, and he spun out, and I had nowhere to go. I was on the outside of a car. I couldn't go low. I knew I needed to go low, and I just couldn't get down there and run into him. So it's disappointing. That hurts pretty bad to have a car as good as we had. I know it was so early in the race, but you know, I had already told Kenny my car was awesome and we were going to be good to go. But things happen, and it's too bad for all the Dodge dealers out there. The UAW, it's a disappointing day.
After the problems you had last week with the cut tire and the finish you didn't really want, this is really going to hurt the championship effort as well.
It kills us. I mean, we can definitely still get, hopefully, a top 5, but it pretty much kills us for the championship. But we just got to win races from here out. That's all we can do.
And there's a lot of damage to this 9-car, Bill. It's going to be a long day for Kasey Kahne once they do get him back out on the racetrack.
And I agree with them. I mean, it's 197 points. You know, I know BP and I do not agree on this, but you can win all the races you want, but unless those guys up front, the top 5, have problems, it's not going to matter.
Losing hurts more than winning helps in the chase.
I believe that. Yes, sir.
Mark Martin, one of the championship contenders.
And Mark Martin has eased back in that 6 car. He's lost some spots. He's working his way backwards now. So evidently something not to his liking in that 6.
Handful of cars did come to pit road under that caution, most from the back half of the field.
Well, we lost Kasey Kahne, but we still have Junior to work out the top groove, that outside line.
Ryan Newman is the race leader. He has led all 20 laps so far. He started the day with only 9 laps led this season. There's the 8 car of Junior. Runs in the 11th spot.
Right behind him, Jimmie Johnson's working his way up forward.
An update on Junior from the birthday boy, Alan Bestwick.
Oh, I knew somebody would get that in sometime today. Notice Junior's not running the bottom of the racetrack. Said on the radio a minute ago, the car just won't go on the bottom. That's why he's moved up, searching for better speed and better comfort.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, trouble. Turn 4 once again.
David Reagan in the 06. Caution number 3. With 22 laps complete.
David might not have hit anything.
And should get an award for that.
Make sure we don't pull a tire here.
Watch the right side of the screen.
And he looks like he got run into also.
That might be Kenny Schrader. I don't know. Don't know exactly who that was behind him.
It was Schrader.
Was it?
It sure looked like it. We might be able to find out, BP.
Here's a shot from Schrader's roof.
Okay. It in fact was Schrader.
Little Debbie got him. Alan?
Hey, Bill, we did offer Tony Stewart the chance to speak about the incident. He declined at this time. The crew is working on getting the car back out. They don't feel it'll be that long. The word from Tony's representative is he'll be happy to talk at the end of the day, but at this time he would rather take a few minutes and cool down.
That's tough. For more reasons than one.
Well, I mean, you know, Tony Stewart is a NASCAR Nextel Cup champion.
Yep.
He's a couple of championships. He's won I don't know how many races. He's a maybe the best pure race car driver in the whole deal, and he lost control by himself. He's not a happy camper.
Well, didn't somebody take him out as Jeff Gordon hits pit lane? Didn't he have somebody take him out at Loudon when he was racing for the championship that wasn't in the championship?
Yes.
Robbie Gordon and Greg
Robbie
Biffle
Gordon.
got in.
We're trying to settle an issue.
Yeah.
So he knows how it feels being in that situation.
Pit stops. Marty Snyder.
And Bill, Jimmy Johnson, one of those guys coming down pit road trying to get a change here. He said he just feels like he has no grip on the racetrack. And a lot of people are talking about the upper groove just having no rubber on it, being hard to run, a little too tight for Johnson. They make the wedge or chassis adjustment to the 48 car. Alan?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. on pit road. You see a chassis adjustment being made in the right rear corner of the car. Going to be a 4-tire change for driver 8. Up at the head end of pit road, Jeff Gordon in the 24 has just left a 4-tire change, a small air pressure adjustment to help the handling of his car.
And you see the race off of pit road, and Ryan Newman, the race leader, feels very lonely right now. He did not pit. He's led all 24 laps. We'll see how it unfolds when we come back to Dover. You're watching NASCAR on.
See if Edwards can do anything here with Newman, because he looked awfully good back in traffic, and now that he's got the track position, his car looks awfully good on the bottom.
Jimmy Johnson scored 40th on the restart.
And he is right there. He can just get that fender just a little bit underneath the 12 car of Newman.
I tell you what, it's amazing how fast these race cars are running on this tough, treacherous racetrack as Carl Edwards goes to the lead.
And Matt Kenseth
Bobbled
is
a
right
little
there.
bit there. Still, Newman gave him a little bit of room to catch it.
Kurt Busch looking inside of Reed Sorensen. 99 is the race leader. We get an update from pit road.
He's going to the front, as BP would say. And I talked to Carl this morning. He said, you know, I've honestly never been that good here at Dover. I've never had a good feel for this racetrack. Never found the right setup for me. But this weekend, it's the best we've ever been. I found the exact balance I wanted. And finally, if I don't mess it up today, Carl told me, we might be able to win this thing. Matt?
Newman's won 3 of the last 7 here at Dover. Now the car started out pretty neutral, but now it's loose at entry, loose off. It just started to tighten up a little bit in the center, but the car looked really strong during final practice when they were on 25 lap or older tires. So they opted for track position. Right now, just trying to settle in. Hold on to that spot, Bill.
Thanks, guys.
Take another guy we're going to see here in a little while. I don't know how long it's going to take him, but I don't think it's going to take him long. It's that 5 car. Kyle Busch is in 16th right now, and I've been watching him, and he's been doing a good job working his way through traffic.
Carl Edwards, Ryan Newman, Matt Kenseth, Reed Sorensen, Kurt Busch, Greg Biffle among the cars that did not pit.
And all of a sudden Newman just cannot keep that Dodge on the bottom of the racetrack. It's one to slide up.
And Matt's trying to help him with that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Kenseth under Newman for second.
The problem is that top groove. If you're in the top groove, you've got a really good run getting off the corner. But Kenseth should get him here because he's a little bit better in the center, and he does.
Marty?
Bill, in fact, I talked to Matt Kenseth about that top groove this morning. He said, I want to go up there as soon as I can. But under the first caution, he said, you know, it rained here today. A lot of that rubber that was up on that top groove is now gone. So we cannot take advantage of it as early in the race as we would like. He said, in fact, I'm going to let other guys do it. I'll stay on the bottom for a while. Alan?
You notice we're beginning to see this 41 car and young driver Reed Sorensen up front more and more as we get later into the season. Reed told me a week ago at New Hampshire he feels as a driver he's ready to win. His crew chief Jimmy Elledge told me this morning that growth in his driver and his race team has him more optimistic they can win than he's been all season long.
Tell you one thing, Alan, he has been doing a fantastic job talking about Reed Sorensen the last few races, and today no exception. Pretty serious competition he's up there racing with. Kurt Busch, Clint Bowyer, Ryan Newman.
We talked about Jimmy Johnson having the problem on pit road. He has worked his way up to the 33rd position in that 48 car. Let's go back and show you what happened.
Right front tire. See, the tire comes off. It rolls towards the 45 car. They run, get it. They throw the other tire towards the pit wall, but the 45 guys hit that tire and knock it back on pit road, just kind of knock it out of their way. And these guys had the nerve enough to go out in the middle of pit road to get the tire. Now, Jimmy waits until they get back with it to leave, but evidently the fact he went across pit road, NASCAR still penalized them.
Made him start at the end of the longest line. There was only one line. He was 40th. Now up to 32nd. Nemechek right in front of him is 31st. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8. Jeff Burton in the 31. A couple of championship contenders.
Junior's going to be like California. He's going to run out of racetrack before this thing's over. Oh, careful, Junior.
Almost ran out of it there.
He did.
Sterling Marlin looking back at Sterling from Jeff Burton. Earnhardt Jr. behind the 14. An update on the 31 of Jeff Burton from Matt Yoakum.
He was hung up behind the 14 of Marlin, asking his spotter to try to help him out. Now, Burton said the car wasn't bad. It was just a little too free. The June winner really thinks, though, as this car goes on and on, lap after lap, it's much better on the longer runs. The one disadvantage they thought they may have when we get into some kind of short run at the finish, they could be in trouble because the car just takes so long to come in.
So Burton trying to work his way through the field. Everybody chasing Carl Edwards. Had a successful season in 2005. Finished tied for second in the chase for the championship. He's outside the chase, but he's leading the race.
Said he killed the right front.
Just got loose, guys, and
What the heck?
In the straightaway. I think he's going to get all the experience he's going to get. He's had all the experience he's going to get at Dover today.
I'm not sure what started that.
That's weird.
Yeah, getting loose on the straightaway is pretty uncommon. But we didn't get to see the start of it.
Window net is down. Driver okay. Jimmy Johnson has worked his way from 40th to 25th.
Wally's had his eye on Kyle Busch, and he's going somewhere, isn't he?
I think he is. I think he's got one of the better cars right now on this racetrack. He sits in 8th spot.
Dave Burns was telling us Kyle took 2 tires under an earlier caution, restarted 21st, and is 8th right now.
Now I guess is when all the guys that did pit's going to pit, and the guys that did pit's going to do something different.
I don't know. I think they're all coming, BP.
Dave, it's all yours.
Mark Martin in the chase still at this point. He will be all season, I suppose, and hopefully moving his way up. He was 14th on the running order coming in. Tight race car, 4 tires wedge and air pressure adjustment.
Newman running third, eases his way into his pit box. Now they're going to make a track bar adjustment. The car was just too free. That was the biggest issue. He told Matt Borland that he needed to fix on this stop, Marty.
Third place man in the championship standings, Matt Kenseth, in the middle of your screen in that 17 car. Says he's a little loose when he hits the gas. He gets even looser. Half pound of the right rear tire. They're going to add a spring rubber to the left rear. AB?
4-tire change for Reed Sorensen, pitting from 7th spot. Air pressure out of 3 tires to help the front end turn a little more. And a drink for the driver.
Boy, a lot of traffic down there on pit road.
Yeah, but Carl Edwards missed his pit.
And he's the first guy in.
And he was the first guy in. He actually passed it, had to put it in reverse and back into the box.
Number of pit strategies playing out. Here's the stop of Mark Martin.
Andy Rieger, Jackman, watches the rear tire changer. All right, they're done. Around to the left side. Andy, one pump, it's up. Looks left. Looks right. It's go, go, go.
Carl Edwards lost a bunch of spots after he missed his pit stall. Matt Kenseth comes out 6th. Ryan Newman in the 5th position. David Stremme is the race leader. He did not stop. The 19 of Elliott Sadler, the 25 of Brian Vickers among the teams that took just 2 tires.
Yeah, you would think the guys with tires would make a pass here pretty quick as Elliott Sadler takes the lead.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Ryan Newman in the 12, the pole sitter, trying to get under Stremme for 2nd. An update from Dave Burns.
And even his teammate Casey Kane has had trouble in this race. They chose a setup on this 19 car that was very close to the 9 car. Josh Brown, the team director, told me they were chasing the setup all weekend, and we put the 9 setup on there. Think we're pretty close.
And these guys racing hard, helping Elliott Sadler, using up their tires.
Although 40, the Stremme doesn't have any. And that's one reason he's already moved up the racetrack a little bit.
But he's holding up the guys with pressure tires.
Boy, he is, big time. And that's, you hate to see that because sooner or later there's going to be some contact on a crash.
And also, yesterday, Kyle Petty said those tires are good for about 20 laps, and then everything evens out.
See, Matt Kenseth going by the 12 car for position. Now he's trying to get on the inside of Stremme. 3 wide off 2.
Say, I hope Stremme likes that high line because I think he's going to be stuck there for a while.
David Reagan treated and released from the infield care center.
Whoa, 25, a little bit loose there. Right in front of Biffle in that 16. He's going to lose a couple spots.
I guess he needs left sides to go with those rights, doesn't he?
And there's Kyle Busch in the 5. Now you've been watching, Wally.
He lost a few spots there on that pit stop, but still think his car is very good. Dave, what are they saying about the 5 car? Because it looked awfully strong there before that last pit stop.
Yeah, he moved from 21st up into the top 10 in that last run. They had taken 2 tires on the pit stop, made a slight air pressure adjustment, and Kyle basically is happy with the cars. He said, very nice job on the setup today, boys.
This is a racy little pack right here.
This is a great race going on right here.
There's Jeff Gordon, the 24 junior in the 8. Truex, the 1. Scott Riggs, the 10 car, who qualified on the outside pole, but had to change engines, went to the rear of the field, up in the middle of that mix.
Sadler leads by 2 seconds over Newman and Kenseth. This is the race right here.
And if, you know, when you're running side by side like this, the guys on the outside, they get such a better run getting off the corner, so they get more speed going down the straightaway. So if you're on the bottom, you really got to get in front of them through the center so you can drift up in front of them getting off the corner, or they'll have that run going on you and pull up beside you, just like that.
Just like the 25 car pulled on the out by the 10 car. But there the 10 clears the 25, like you said, while he's able to move up.
To try and sort through it all, an update on the 8 from Allen.
Well, and then the other thing about in that traffic, we saw Junior trying to pass Brian Vickers down low, and when he was alongside Jeff Gordon, remember, that car still doesn't want to run the bottom. He was having to try and pass those guys on the bottom, and I'm sure that was less than comfortable for him.
Marty?
Alan, Brian Vickers kind of enjoying those 2 tires out there, as you said earlier, Wally. Wish he had 4 tires on. Car's way too loose for Brian, but they thought 2 tires was the best thing at this point. For Scott Riggs, they had a fantastic car Friday in practice and even Saturday in practice. But Friday in qualifying, he missed the shift. He actually qualified second, but took the green flag 40th because they had to change an engine. He tried to go to 3rd gear. He went to 1st, went to 11,000 RPM. That never works. So they had to put the backup engine. The car's fast. He's been patiently working his way through the field.
That's just a bonehead mistake, and I mean, there's nothing. You take it hard when you do that, but when you leave for qualifying, you're trying so hard and you're jacked up, and sometimes that happens. But boy, it's better to miss a shift than go from 3rd to 1st when you're trying to hit 4th gear. Wow.
You miss a shift, and sometimes you miss your pit stall too. And this is what happened with the 99 car of Carl Edwards. Watch Earnhardt go underneath the 40.
Yeah, let's see.
The
99's at the front of the line, right. You see Newman just turns in, and the 99 turns in real sharp, but he missed it already. So he's got to put it in reverse, back into his pit box. Well, that's all well good, but you're going to lose 15 positions doing that. Just that little mistake will cost you that much on a pit stop.
Was leading when he came to pit road. He's now 20th, Marty.
Oh, little contact there.
And Wally, to add to that, they were counting him to his pit stall, and Carl felt awful after that. And here was his conversation on the radio with the crew after that pit stop.
Sorry about that, guys. I was driving to my Busch pit stall. I was just watching my pit road speed. Unbelievable. It's all right. We'll make it up. It's my fault, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know why I had it in my mind. We were down at the end. I guess because we qualified well and stuff. I just, was thinking we were down here farther. I owe you one.
And Bobby Hudson is Carl's very veteran spotter, and he has a lot of savvy about the racetrack. He said to Carl, listen, we have a fast race car. We made no changes on that stop. We can get back to the front, but you have to stay in the game, and you have to believe in your race car.
And you have to listen to that countdown.
Yeah, they're saying 3, 2, 1.
That means something. Yeah.
I tell you, the 99 car looks about as good as anything that I've seen so far as going through the corner. He's able to keep the car on the bottom about as well as anyone.
You think he'll miss his pit stall anymore today?
I don't think so.
Tony Stewart in the 20 car has returned to the track. He's in the 41st position, 54 laps down. Elliott Sadler is the race leader. Used pit strategy, a 2-tire stop, got him out front. He leads Kenseth, Newman, Busch, and Sorensen at Dover.
And moved Gordon back up into the lead group. Right now, struggling with the handling on his car a little bit. He says there's no drive off. Marty?
Alan, earlier we were telling you about Clint Boyer being so good in his Cup car, not so good in the Busch Series car. They took the Cup setup, put it on the Busch Series car, and they went out and won the race. On their stop earlier, no changes. Clint extremely happy with the car. Matt?
Robbie Gordon having a very solid run, something he just couldn't quite put together here in the spring. Bounced off the wall earlier and broke the track bar. The car, like it was in the spring, no tight. He's got his hands full, though, trying to hold on to that position. The 99 right behind him, Marty.
Everyone has their hands full trying to hold off that 99. In fact, Jimmy Johnson gave Carl Edwards a compliment. When Carl went around him, he said, man, that 99 thing's the fastest thing out here. Obviously, the car, he wants no changes on the next stop. Matt?
Jamie McMurray's best run of the season came right here in June. Almost left here with a victory. Nothing worked from the setup they had here in the June race. They went a whole completely different direction. Right now, though, the 2 tires not helping. He is just running top 15.
Jimmy Johnson trying to climb out of his hole in the championship standings, currently running 16th. Same car he won with last September. He is a little too free. He said there's just no grip out here on the racetrack.
Bill. Thanks, gentlemen. That's the top 16. Johnson runs in the 16th spot. Then it's Stremme, Marlin, Jeff Burton, and Mark Martin, the top 20. There are 35 cars on the lead lap. Matt Kenseth is the race leader. He's in the chase. He's won 4 times this year and going for the Dover sweep in 2006.
Didn't look like he was down, is it? It's hard to say.
Limping back to the garage.
Right front certainly isn't rolling, that's for sure.
Well, I imagine pit road will be a pretty busy place.
And I guess by now that they'll all be the 4 tires.
Yeah, I would think so.
Tony Raines is the lucky dog.
Boy, Tony, it's about time you caught a break.
So he'll come around, rejoin the lead lap. That'll put 31 cars on the lead lap. Field lined up behind the pace car. Pit road is open. Kenseth moves down on the apron. Here they come. Dave?
Elliott Sadler's crew excited to go head-to-head now that they are up in the front of the pack. Elliott said, come on, boys, kick some butt. 4 tires, no changes. Car running very well. Matt?
Kurt Busch's team up on the wall waiting for the Blue Deuce to pull to a stop. He does. Going to make an air pressure change in both front tires. The car just plowing too tight. Marty?
Leader Matt Kenseth says, you know, we went a little too far with that last adjustment, lacking some front grip, a pound out of both left sides and 3/4 of a pound out of the right front tire. Alan?
4-tire stop for Dale Earnhardt Jr., who is any adjustments here will just be made with air pressure. No wrenches going into the car. Let's see how their pit stop fares with some of the competition here. That wasn't a bad looking stop.
It looks like that 17 bunch got Kenseth off pit road first. And the traffic funnels off of pit road. That is a lonely feeling. Kasey Kahne, one of the 10 drivers in the chase, but because of a crash, he's not in the race. I'll tell you, he's going for the sweep. If he wins here, they've got that favorite thing going for him, BP. Big Mo.
Big Mo, yes. And I'll tell you what, Mo's very important in any kind of sporting event, especially racing.
Let's take a look at our singular race talk question for this week. Which past Dover champ has the best chance to win today? To vote, text the word race to 191 on your singular wireless phone, and you'll have a chance to win a first-class trip to Miami.
Well, we should have done that 100 laps ago, huh?
Kyle Busch wants around 19 bad. He's going to have to wait, get this sorted out. Got some cars down that are a lap more down, and he's going to have to work by them first, as is everyone else.
31 cars on the lead lap.
Kurt Busch got awfully close to the outside retaining wall.
Did that on his qualifying lap, too.
Ooh, slides up a little bit there. What's going on with the 5 car?
Keep an eye on it.
Blowing out, boys. It's blowing out.
Oh, man.
Pressures. Let me know your pressures. And temps.
Dave? And before that, it's blowing up. Not good.
Wow. In the wall at New Hampshire.
230, 260, 87, and 25.
Sounds like he was reading his pressures and temperatures there off his gauges.
It's like 230 water, 260 oil. That's temperature. That shouldn't be a problem. It looks like it's on 7 cylinders. You know, they had a problem with the 48 car last week at Loudon. It was a spark plug wire boot that goes over the spark plug itself. I still haven't seen any smoke out of the 5 car.
Now, it has some smoking, but and you can see he can keep up through the corners when everybody else is laying out of the throttle. But boy, when he gets on the straightaway, he just gets clobbered.
Here comes Mark Martin in the 6, looking back from Jeff Burton's car.
2 on, folks. I just switched the battery.
Just went to his backup battery. Make sure that it wasn't a problem with that ignition, but it doesn't look like it helped the BP.
Sure doesn't.
This is back around the 18th, 19th, 20th position, and now clearly off the pace.
Oh, he's very, very slow. He's going to pit road.
Going to try.
All right, come down. Coming to you.
Kyle Busch.
Blow up. Yep.
His championship chances melting away here at Dover. Dave?
and they're going to go under the hood, Bill. We've seen already at Richmond, the race before the chase, Denny Hamlin having spark plug wire problems. They hope it's something that simple. But as you heard, Kyle was switching everything that came in twos on this car, and nothing was helping. Crew going underneath. They'll see what else they can find and hopefully fix for Kyle. But as you said, after last week, they needed a big turnaround. This is another blow.
So the crew works on pit road. The race continues. Jeff Gordon in the 24. Scott Riggs right behind him.
Scott Riggs is going to take the 9th spot away from Martin Truex.
See Carl Edwards, the 99 car back there. He has worked his way up to the 11th position after being 23rd after his boo-boo on pit road when he missed his pit stall.
Scott Riggs had a good qualifying run, but you heard the story on Bank of America Countdown to Green. Had to drop to the 38th spot.
Check this out.
Because of an engine change. Elliott Sadler coming back on Matt Kenseth for the lead.
Wow. Elliott.
Got that track position. They're capitalizing on it.
Had a great pit stop in that 19 car. As we watch this, I'll tell you that they're pushing the 5 car towards the garage.
You following that, Dave?
I am, and Alan Gustafson told me this morning, you know, the thing about last week's problem at New Hampshire is I saw this team come together and not quit. That's what they're going to do right now. They're going to go under the valve covers in this motor and see if perhaps they've broken a valve spring or something like that. Get him back out here. They may finish way down in the pack. They'll probably still be 10th in the championship. They are not giving up.
So they'll work hard, and they might come back out. And it's not necessarily the position they're going to be in the championship standings, but how many points they are behind the leader.
Exactly.
I talked about the 99 car, Carl Edwards, just a moment ago, running in the 11th position. He has lost a couple of spots. He's whacked to 12th and maybe even 13th now. So the 99 car going the wrong direction.
You see Riggs in that pack in the 10. Update on the 99. Marty?
And one of the reasons he may be falling back to the field, BP, is because they've warned him that on the last stop, after they took the tires off, they noticed the right front was a little abused. In fact, it was starting to lose air pressure, so the caution was very fortuitous for the 19 team. They got that right front off, but Carl now knows it may have been abusing the right front on that last run, maybe trying to take it a little bit easier on this run. Matt.
And the other chaser there, the 31 now, Jeff Burton, he hasn't escaped issues today. Now, he had a bad vibration earlier. Took a set of tires off, that one away. Then he made contact with a 25 of Vickers. Damaged his left front fender. They repaired that on his last stop. But it just can't seem to work the tightness out of the race car. It has gotten better. A little bit of progress made, but not enough to where it really shows. Right now, he is just hovering around the 15th position.
Burton is 15th, Matt. Mark Martin 16th. McMurray 17th. Stremian, the 40 car in the 14th spot, on board with Jeff Burton.
And while it looks like a lot of cars are having that issue not being able to turn, they go in the corner and the car just, as they turn the steering wheel, it doesn't turn, it just slides up the racetrack.
Find out.
Dave, you following Mark too?
I am indeed. In his car, he's been complaining that it tightens up as the run goes along, so they made some changes on that last stop. One thing they did check is the right front headlight area had a small dent or a hole, they thought, from contact on pit road the stop before. They reasoned that that was okay. They did not put a patch or anything on there, but Mark is logged back in the middle of the field.
Martin in 15th. Championship chaser Kevin Harvick runs 21st. Denny Hamlin 28th. Kyle Busch off, scored in the 37th position. And Casey Kane still off, scored 42nd. A tough day for some of the chasers on the Monster Mile at Dover.
Yeah, coming off turn 2, the 17 car got that great run, and Sadler said, well, okay, I can fight him, or we can just get in line and try to run away from these guys. But we see Kurt Busch in that 2 car back there, and he continues to be lurking.
Kenseth has led 46 laps.
As a matter of fact, he's not lurking anymore, that 2 car. He has passed the 19 car to move into second.
The 2 car runs second. Let's check in on his brother, and here's Alan.
Yeah, Kyle has climbed from the car. Kyle, any idea what it is?
No, not yet. I mean, it must have been top end valve train or something. Nothing came out the bottom. So just a shame for the whole Chevrolet Kellogg Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS, you know, is really, really strong today. Very proud of the team. I told them I was very proud of them the way the thing was set up there in the beginning. It was awesome. I mean, we drove from 18th or 20th, whatever it was, up to 3rd, and we were still catching those 2 leaders. So, you know, this isn't normal for the Hendrick Motorsports engine department. Normally they give us great horsepower, great torque, and everything. So this must be a fluke deal, parts failure, whatever, but it's a shame that it was ours.
The question you hate to have to ask, but 2 races in, a championship thought?
We're done.
Thanks, Kyle.
I agree with it. Unfortunately.
No, yeah, I mean, 240 plus points back. You're right. You're done.
You work so hard all season to make the chase.
And then to be out in the first 2 races.
Yeah, you're not halfway through the second one yet.
That's brutal.
Denny Hamlin having his problems today. Matt Yoakum has his pit.
Bill, you heard him say in our countdown to green, his biggest issue today, just comfort here at Dover. He doesn't have it, just cannot seem to find it. Now, Mike Ford and Spider Gillen told me this weekend the biggest thing is just trying to keep him pumped up. Their goal now, just leave here with a top 15 finish. Denny told me yesterday, he said, I can't even take it up a notch to where I get it on the edge where I might even back in the fence. I just cannot find any decent feeling here at Dover.
Matt, Kevin Harvick has not found his way to the front of the pack yet. Remember, he started back in 25th position. Currently runs 20th. Restarted 23rd at the last green flag. The car has been loose all day. Loose getting into the corner, loose through the center, and they've had trouble adjusting on it. They just haven't found what they want yet to make that 29 car less loose. And that's hard to handle here, Wall.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, that's why I think he's found a spot there where he's not racing around a lot of other cars, because it makes it even worse when cars are underneath you, around you. So I think he's just trying to ride this thing out until they can get it adjusted during a pit stop. And if he gets the car feeling the way he wants, he'll get it up to the front.
You know, that's in talking to the crew chiefs this weekend, everyone was complaining about being able to find that perfect spot. Said you're either loose or you're tight. It's trying to balance on a razor blade. You know, either one side or the other. You can never find that sweet spot. And the one that the team that finds it the best will win.
And you work on that, what, 200, 300 laps and hope you get it for the last 100?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're always looking for it. You want it right now. You don't want it for the last 200. You want it for the whole 400. But every time you come in, you're trying to make those adjustments. You're looking for the grip so you can get a hold of the racetrack. You know, as you see the 11 car, he's not getting a hold of the racetrack. That car is just sliding. You see him save it right there. And so he is driving for everything he's worth right now, so he doesn't have that comfort. You're not comfortable when you drive the car down into the corner and the thing slides up 3 or 4 lanes.
And he's not comfortable back in 27.
Right.
Matt?
Bill, he is saying the car is loose, then it's tight, then it's snappy loose again. He said at one point it feels like we've got 90 pounds of air in all 4 tires. I don't know what to tell you. Right now, he's just trying to survive his day here in Dover.
And that's what a lot of these guys are talking about here. It's just grip in general. It's like you're in a 4-wheel slide around this place. You don't get into the racetrack. And don't forget this racetrack, as you go into turn 3, you dive off the racetrack down into turn 3. Then as you're going through 3 and 4, you'll come up out of the racetrack and there'll be a big bump right here. And it lifts the tires off the ground. And it's just, he talked about a roller coaster. This is the closest you'll get to a roller coaster ride in a Cup car.
And that's his teammate, Tony Stewart, right in front of him. So maybe Stewart's trying to give him a hand, show him the way around.
Well, it's half a race car.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Stewart's got no back end on that race car right now, so, you know, he's not having all that much fun. So that's how bad Hamlin's car is right now.
I think that Tony followed Denny Hamlin for quite a while, trying to help him out and probably talking to him about. And we see Greg Biffle, the 16 car, going by Junior in the 8, taking over the 4th position.
Kyle Busch's car has been officially retired from the race. Out for engine. Matt Kenseth leads by 1.7 seconds over Kurt Busch. One here in June. He's going for the sweep at Dover.
getting to the gas quick off the corners and making the straightaways quick is a very big, important part. You can roll the bottom really good sometimes, but not have good straightaway speed. So having a combination of good corner speed and straightaway speed is definitely a good key for this racetrack.
And this is a physical racetrack. I mean, this is probably next to Bristol, one of the toughest places to drive. So we go inside with Ryan. You can look how he's just jammed up in that headrest. And, I mean, the forces want to throw you right out the right window. And watch him go down the straightaway. He'll straighten up a little bit. And when he goes down in the corner, all those forces just pound you into the right part of that seat.
It's amazing how hard that his head is hitting that headrest, how much he's dependent on that to hold his head up.
See him working his hands there? You get to holding the wheel so tight sometimes you cut the circulation off in your fingers. So sometimes you got to pull your hands off. You got to work them around. I mean, you know, he's trying to be as smooth as can. I know when you look at just a race car, it's like, that's easy. Look, he's just driving it down the corner and getting on the gas. But you watch what a driver does in one of these race cars. It's not easy. And you're doing it every lap. You're moving that wheel, especially on a place like this. You're searching for that racetrack when you turn the wheel, and you're looking for that feel in the steering wheel. So you kind of crank it back a little bit, back and forth. It's a job.
A battle for the third position. And this is for third. Reed Sorensen, the 41, has gone by Kurt Busch and the 2 to take over that spot. And Biffle now trying to take third away.
And Newman was doing that basically without anybody around him
right
at that point. When you're running side by side or you're in a lot of traffic, it's
twice that much.
And the 9 car, Casey Kane, has come back on the racetrack. There we see him. The repairs have been made. He is currently 42nd, but there's 4 cars in front of him that are out of the race. That's 12 points that he can pick up if he can just finish the rest of the race. And maybe even more because other cars may have trouble.
That's how long they took to get Casey back onto the track.
All right, looks pretty. Did a pretty good job.
Looks a lot better than the last time we saw it, that's for sure. We talked a little while ago about Denny Hamlin. He has fallen off the lead lap in the 26th spot. And he would not be eligible for the lucky dog right now, basically because Matt Kenseth is really putting some guys off the lead lap in a hurry. It's Greg Biffle making the move there around the lapped car. Kenseth out front, leads by 2.2 seconds over 20-year-old Reed Sorensen at Dover. Only 161 laps in for the Dover 400. Live on TNT from Dover, Delaware. Matt Kenseth, the race leader. Matt has led 79 laps. He's out front now. Let's do a chasers through the field for you, starting with Snyder.
Well, from Matt Kenseth sits, the race looks awfully pretty, Bill. I'll say he doesn't mind looking out his front windshield. And on the radio, doesn't have a whole lot to say. Same car they won with here in June, and it's been sitting in the corner of the shop since then. They haven't touched it until Friday. Awfully fast, Matt.
Denny Hamlin in the 11th car, just absolutely no grip. His teammate, Tony Stewart, passed along the message trying to tell him where he needed to run as far as how many lanes up to try to find some grip just so he can get some kind of comfort here at Dover, AB.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is running in the 6th position just after the last pit stop at lap 100. This was the traffic on his team's radio between crew chief Tony Eury Jr. and the driver.
The right side tires are worn. Right front looks pretty good, but the right rear, the 2 inches on the outside, is just you're through the fabric. Looks like me and you were talking about in the early 90s when they first concreted had just wore it off. That's exactly the way it looks.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s tires, right sides, both of them showing cords. I talked to Tony Eury Jr., the crew chief. He said he thought it was because Jr. was up there running higher than anybody else, and he was the one putting rubber into the racetrack. He thought it'd get better as the race went on. Jeff Gordon's team is preparing to pull a spring rubber out of his car on this pit stop. As you see that we're under caution. Jeff Gordon complaining about the back end of his car being very much out of control, Bill.
Thanks, Alan. And the caution is out for debris. Debris in turn 3.
Well, I would think if we have a tire issue, if they're wearing their tires out, then these guys are thrilled to death to see this caution flag. But I agree that Junior, as he keeps running on the high groove and other cars go up there like Michael Waltrip, they will get that more rubber in the racetrack, and that tire wear will become less of an issue.
Been a little over 60 laps since these guys have been on pit road. There are 23 cars on the lead lap.
And that Reed Sorensen, that 41 car, has worked his way up to the 2nd position. So great run today for that young man.
Dave Blaney is the lucky dog. He will come around and be the 24th car on the lead lap. Pit road is open, and here they come. Let's start with Matt Yoakum.
A lot of conversation, Bill, back and forth with both Dodge boys while Newman is loose. Kurt Busch, his car is tight. Feels like he's got 9,000 pounds of air in all 4 of his tires. Now, Roy McCauley, as he makes his way to his pit box, will have an air pressure change in both front tires to try to get some grip up there, Marty.
Matt Kenseth is in the middle of your screen. That 17 car says he's a little too free for most of that run, getting into the corner. All he wants, a ½ pound back in the right front tire. Alan?
Reed Sorensen pitched from 2nd place. You see them trying to put the wrench in and make a track bar adjustment. His car needing a little bit of help turning in the center of the corners, Dave.
Alan, on that run, Elliott Sadler fell from 2nd all the way back to 11th. His car was really tight from the middle of the corner off. They made a track bar and wedge adjustment, and Elliott's not sure the motor is running absolutely correctly. Marty.
And Dave, it is a long stop for the 17 crew this time. Matt was over the line. They had to push him back. He will lose a ton of track position here on pit road.
Came in as the race leader. Here's his stop.
And we see the right front is just on the line. That black line, the inspector is telling them and say, okay, what's going on here? So they put the tires back on, let the car down, and then push him back and get that right front off the line. Okay, now he's good to go.
Just a matter of inches. Well, you said pit road would be an issue today.
And it has been.
And a long way to go. 167 laps complete at Dover. You got here just in time. Green flag's out, and Reed Sorensen is the race leader. And BP?
He's going somewhere in that 41 car. He said, what is so tough about this monster? What's this monster thing all about?
Oh, it's going to be 20, isn't it?
It is.
Keep your eye on that 07 car, guys.
He hasn't been too shabby, has he?
He's got that car anything like it was yesterday, or his car in the Busch race, and we've seen he's been able to keep it on the bottom even late in the run, and that's going to be the key. That car stays where it's at 40 laps from now. He's going to be tough.
Matt Kenseth restarted 19th. Pitted as the race leader, restarted 19th after being outside of his pit box. Here's a quick look at the 17, the right front, right on the line.
You have to be inside the pit box to make a stop. You can correct it. The NASCAR official says you're on the line, so let the car down, they push it back, and then they change the tire. So they corrected the situation, but he lost 18 spots correcting.
Crew Chief Robbie Reiser. I heard the official say he's on the line. Marty?
And Bill, after that discussion, there wasn't much protest from the 17 team. They kind of agreed with the judgment call there, saying that the right front was on the line. They did lose a lot of track position, but again, they have a fast car, and as Bob Jeffers, the spotter, put it, you know what? It was boring the way we were doing it anyway. So let's go out and see if we can pass some more cars.
He's a great spotter to listen to, isn't he?
He is. He's a great encourager, Wally.
Some contact. We see Kevin Harvick waving to the 49 car of LePage and said, quit doing that to me.
Is that what he was doing, waving?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that was the message he was trying to get across, but
LePage drifts up and out of the way.
Page is 2 laps down from these guys that are racing around him right now.
McMurray in that 26 car, second here in the June race.
Carl Edwards, a 99 car, he made a boo-boo on pit road and fell back to about 23rd. He's now worked his way back to the 6th position.
And he was leading when he made his mistake.
Yeah, he was.
Went past his pit.
Well, Jack Rice is going to have to talk to these boys this week, isn't he? He owns the 99 car of Carl Edwards, also the 17 of Matt Kenseth.
Update on Edwards from Marty.
And fellas, earlier they were setting a blistering pace in the 99, and they've kind of tried to calm Carl down a little bit because they felt like the pace was maybe too quick because they had a right front tire going down. They've also tried to get him to move a little bit lower on the racetrack. That's what his teammate Matt Kenseth and Clint Bowyer are also doing, almost hugging the apron of the racetrack, especially in 1 and 2. Alan?
Jeff Gordon's team was able to pull the spring rubber on that pit stop without losing any track position, trying to help the rear end grip on his car. Gordon now is running 7th. Remember, 8.7. Steve Letarte, Jeff Gordon's crew chief, told me this morning that the champion last year averaged a finish of 8.7 in the 10 chase races. He said if we finish 8th or better today, then we're ahead of the game.
Right now, he's ahead of the game. Gordon in the 7th spot.
But everyone wants to win. That's what they're all here for.
So it's Sorensen, Bowyer, Biffle, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. currently running 4th. Has some fond memories of this track. Missed the chase a year ago, but he's glad to be back in it in 2006.
It's not a whole lot of fun being on the outside of the chase. I mean, you know, we weren't even in a position to fight for it last year, and everybody said, well, what about the pressure? What about the pressure trying to make the chase? That was the fun part, you know, because last year we didn't even have a chance. So I've had a blast all year long. We had a great time trying to make that chase with Casey and all the guys, and unfortunately one guy didn't get to make it, and we'll just try to do the best we can. We've got a great effort, and we got a great team, and these guys got their heads on right, and we're ready to go.
Runs 4th, one of only 2 chasers currently in the top 10. Earnhardt is 4th. Jeff Gordon is 7th. More on the 8 from Allen.
Yeah, Bill, remember we talked about both of his right side tires showing cords a couple of the last pit stop. Well, the right side tires that came off his car on this pit stop, just as bad. A little bit of concern as we watch this 8 run on the racetrack.
That would be a huge concern for me, because at this point in the race that there should be enough rubber on the racetrack for that problem to get better.
This track has been different this weekend, it seems. You know, Kyle talked about it yesterday, not getting the grip.
Yeah, I don't think it's the track. I just think it's the way these guys are setting the race cars up. The way they have to run these cars these days, I think that's what the problem is. But yeah, you're right, BP. There should be enough rubber here, and you know, if he's eating these tires up right now, he's going to have to be careful what line he starts running.
And you say the way they're setting these cars up today, the way they do it puts a lot of pressure on the tires.
Right.
I mean, they downforce, they just force those tires right down in the racetrack, and they'll just rip the rubber off of them. They get such a grip.
Especially here where you're sliding so much as it is. You know, we talked about being in a 4-wheel slide all the time, and that's what's eating up the outside of those, you know, right side tires.
This is fun for 12. Jimmy Johnson just got up from Mark Martin. Matt Kenseth has worked his way up to 14th in that 17 car. Just ahead of that, there's Jeff Burton in the 11th. Matt's watching him today.
Making big headway, Bill. Now, Scott Miller, his crew chief, told me this morning they were surprised that they haven't been better this weekend. We've got a crash on the racetrack, Bill.
Caution is out. Kevin LePage in the 49 car. 7th caution of the race.
The looks of the damage on that started back in turn 1 and ended in turn 2.
Yep.
The right front tire's flat, but I guess he did that sliding across the racetrack.
Let's see what we can see here, BP.
Just loses control.
Oh, this is going to hurt.
Wally, it is amazing how many just one-car wrecks we've seen the last couple of days with quality race car drivers driving.
That's hardly the case here. Normally, you crash coming off a 2, and there's going to be 8 or 9 guys in it. Been real lucky this weekend.
Denny Hamlin is the lucky dog. He will come around and be the 24th car on the lead lap. It's only been about 20 laps since these guys have been on and off of pit road. See how they play it here.
I think you get them when you can now.
My suggestion is pit. Get some tires. In fact, Wally said when you can, because especially if they're wearing the outside of the right sides.
7th race this season that Reed Sorensen in that 41 car has led. Finished 5th at Michigan in June. His best Cup finish was 19th in the June race at Dover. pit road is open. Sorensen's kind of high on
Come on, Jimmy, bring him in. Biffle stays out. A lot of cars stayed out. A lot of cars came in.
Wow. Burns.
The 19 wanted to come in. They said, let's work on it. Way too tight. 2 tires only. Chassis adjustment. Wedge in the right rear.
Matt. And a lot of conversation back and forth. Now, the Penske guys were talking about if they split, they were both going to stay out. Felt like they were making some progress on the handling of the race cars. Marty?
Clint Bowyer's already leaving his pit stall. A very crowded pit road with 2 fresh right side tires. Car's a little bit tight. They made an air pressure adjustment. Alan?
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to give up his top 10 position to pit for 4 tires on the 8 car.
Looks like Jimmy Johnson also took 4 tires. Mark Martin's on and off of pit road. There's Earnhardt Jr. Well, this sets up an interesting strategy situation. We'll sort out the running order and the pit strategy when we come back. Our 7th caution of the race here at Dover. Rick Sorensen scored as the race leader. Our first race weekend after 9/11. Dale Earnhardt Jr. led 193 laps, and that was the biggest one right there after he won the race. Never seen so many American flags. Wrangler 5-star finishes, and that's why I wear red, white, and blue for this race every year. That was a great day.
It was a fantastic day. Wow, what a restart Reed Sorensen is getting. He put 15, 20 car lengths on the second place car of Greg Biffle.
He knows he's got guys behind him on tires.
Top 9 cars did not pit.
First car off pit road was Clint Bowyer in the 07 with 2 tires.
Guys that stayed out have about 20 laps on their tires.
But they have track position. Sometimes that's better than tires.
Exactly.
Carl Edwards getting underneath the 66 car. Jeff Green. Jeff is a lap down.
Carl Edwards currently in the 4th position. Truex Jr. the 1 car right behind him.
There's Kenseth in the 17, Ryan Newman in the 12. Jeff Burton on the lead lap. Nemechek is not. He's 2 laps down. On board with Burton.
You know, that failed pit stop that Matt Kenseth had, where he had the tire on the line. During this last caution flag, he had no choice to stay on the racetrack and try to get some of that track position back. Matt, what's going on with Jeff Burton today?
Well, BP, it seems like they have finally hit upon the setup for Jeff Burton. Now, they made an air pressure change in 3 of the 4 tires on his last stop. Set on this pass run right before the caution. Seems like we have really found some speed in this race car, and he was knocking on the door of the top 10 when that caution came out.
Burton runs in the 8th spot. His teammate Bowyer right behind him. 07.
That's a battle for position with Ryan Newman. He and Jeff Burton in 31. There comes Clint Bowyer. First car to make the stop, that last caution flag.
Car just gets such a good run off that high line. He gives it up in the center if those guys go down at the bottom. But he gets such a good run getting off the corner. That momentum carries him down the straightaway. A little bit more speed than the guys running on the bottom. Although now, I don't know. We'll see when Bowyer gets up there. Because Boyer's so fast in the center of the corner on the bottom, he may have enough to pull the pass off. Marty, what do they say about the 07? What's good from here?
He's awfully good, Wally. He's trying a little bit of everything in terms of lines on the racetrack. For most of the day, he's been on the very bottom, almost on the apron of the racetrack, and that's the line he used yesterday in the Busch Series race. But to pass these guys in front of him who are on older tires, he's trying the middle groove, the high groove, trying a little bit of everything to get around these guys because he believes he's faster than both of them in front of him.
I agree with you. I think these two guys are holding them up right now. Elliott Sadler now creeping up into the picture. So there goes Bowyer. I believe he'll complete the pass here on the 31. Take a lap or two to get up to Newman, and I bet you he pulls that pass off too.
Bowyer did pretty good in that Busch race yesterday.
He did all right.
He beat everybody else that was in it. It's been fun watching a lot of these young guys this season. Bowyer's one of them. Reed Sorensen, who leads this race right now, another one.
How about Denny Hamlin?
Just unbelievable. And these other guys would be big stories, but Hamlin's stealing the show.
I mean, we got so many bestest rookies this year that are up there battling for wins.
Burton following his teammate from Richard Childress Racing. We talked about it being Bestwick's birthday. Richard Childress had a birthday a couple of days ago. Our owner for Harvick, Burton, and Clint Bowyer. Elliott Sadler drives that 19 car for Ray Evernham. Get an update on that car.
And Bill, yeah, he feels like one of the young guys, doesn't he, with this sixth race in the Ray Evernham camp with the 19 crew. They made a guess on this morning's setup, but the car had been both tight and loose throughout the weekend. And they said, boy, if this thing ends up looser, we're in big trouble. But they guessed that it would be a little bit tight. That was the right way to go, and they've just been nibbling away at the setup ever since.
Don't want to be looser, do you?
No, not when you're already loose.
Just past halfway here at the Monster Mile. And there's your race leader, Reed Sorensen, by 1.5 seconds over Biffle. Hamlin's been taking all the headlines. Sorensen's trying to steal them for the rookies today.
With a wrecked race car, that's the reason that pit road did not open that time, because he was going to be in the way.
Something broke in that car. It looked like maybe the track bar.
There it goes.
Flying out the back of the race car. That could have been it. You just watch the rear end. It'll be moving back and forth in the car there.
Very little he could do about that situation.
He heads for the garage. Kevin LePage, Robbie Gordon, David Reagan, Derek Cope already out of the race.
So I'm also pushing the 4 car of Scott Wimmer back towards the garage. So in fact, he may be out. There's another 2 positions that Kasey Kahne can pick up. He's picked up a couple, and he has a chance picking up 1, 2, 3, 4 more.
Pit
5
road.
more.
Sorry, BP. Pit road will be open this time. Got a couple of different strategies working here. Let's see who decides to come down pit road this time. Sorensen, the race leader, says... Yep. Okay.
Let's pit.
Here you go, Dave.
The 1 car of Martin Truex Jr. on pit road. Bono said, we hate to do this, but we've got to pit now. Fortunately, a lot of other guys with him. 2 or 4. Looks like they're going to do 4. A tight race car. They need an adjustment as well. Matt?
And Busch and Burton both in. Now they're going to make a track bar adjustment on Kurt Busch's Dodge. The car just too loose. Cannot push it at all. Marty?
Robbie Reiser was really torn about whether to pit Matt Kenseth. They were awfully glad when other cars came down pit road with him. A little bit loose, a little bit tight, but Matt said don't make any changes to it. Alan?
4 tires, no changes for Reed Sorensen. Thought if they'd had a good long run there, they'd have been even better than they were leading the race. They were concerned about the strategy. They know there'll be some people that stay out here, but they didn't want to get caught later if we get a long green run here.
There's a big squeeze getting off of pit road that time. You see Gordon leaving the pits. Under caution here at Dover, Greg Biffle is scored as the leader. Drivers Biffle, Sadler, Johnson, Martin, McMurray did not pit. Ryan Newman, the first of the guys off of pit road, is in 6th spot.
gets a big jump
Yeah.
up front, don't they?
Because they know they need to. If they can, look what happens. You come around and lead the first lap by half a second. You leave those guys behind you fighting the guys a lap down. Newman up on the high side trying to get some positions here. Oh, Earnhardt almost run into the back of him.
Got a little bit loose and almost got into Junior. You're right. But Newman is going to try to use the 96 car of Tony Raines as a pick.
He needs to get there first. He needs to get there before Junior gets underneath them, because if he gets underneath them, then he's going to block in Newman. So they're both racing to get to Tony Raines to see which one could go on which side.
Wow, Junior had a great center of the corner that time to get by Newman.
And there you see Reed Sorensen in the 41 car. Runs in the 8th spot.
Sorensen's going to tuck down underneath Newman now, and he's going to take that spot away. Yes.
Hey, Matt, all of a sudden the 12 car can't keep it on the bottom.
BP, you saw him working the wheel earlier when he went on board with Newman. The car just too free. When he tries to get to the exit of the corner, it just wants to come out from underneath him. He's just trying to hold on right now. His teammate, Kurt Busch, trying to work the inside as well. Busch was loose, but not as bad as Newman, who's on 2 tires.
And just ahead of those guys, it is Dale Earnhardt Jr. also getting just right side tires only on his pit stop, guys.
Well, Reed Sorensen, that 41 car, his car is awfully good today.
Yeah, he's hooked up. Takes a look under Earnhardt Jr. there. Got a pretty good run. Doesn't have enough to slide up in front of him. Junior's got the momentum.
Sorensen has led 39 laps today. Biffle last stopped on 166. So he's been out there a long time. The other guys that did not stop stopped on 186.
Well, he can go to about probably 255, 260. Boy, he'll be wanting some tires badly when that time comes along.
That was a good idea then, but won't be a good idea later.
Exactly.
If it stays, yeah.
Especially if they stop on green. Yeah.
Brian Vickers in that 25 car is in 27th spot. 1 lap down. Earnhardt Jr. looking to the inside. Sorensen right on his bumper.
Yeah, you get bogged down just a little bit with the slower car. You can see what happened. I mean, it just jammed up the 41 and then opened up the door for Kurt Busch in a 2 car to try to make a pass.
This is going to be tight.
It looks like Roy McCauley in that 2 car made some great adjustments on that last stop. About as strong as we've seen the 2 car all day.
Sorensen's not going to give it up just yet.
He didn't, did he? And here comes the 17 car. Matt Kenseth.
Kenseth has led 84 laps today. Battling back from a miscue on pit road, Marty.
And here come also, Bill, the 4 fresh tires of Matt Kenseth. He's trying to work his way up to the field, and Bob Jeffries, the spotter, just said, listen, be very patient. They're being kind of crazy up there in the front, going 2 and 3 wide at times. Try and stay in your line, which, as you can see, is on the very bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, it looks like Newman cannot get around the slower cars as well as some of these other guys, and he's struggling right now with that.
There's Biffle. How about that race leader, Alan?
Yeah, Bill, just to follow up on the strategy, I talked to Doug Richard during that caution. They really expected more people to stay out on the racetrack than the number they did. You look at Doug there, Biffle's crew chief in the upper left. They figure if they can get a 30-lap green flag run here and then catch a caution, everyone will follow them down pit road, and they'll have their track position maintained. They can go about another 45 laps from here before they'll have to stop for fuel under green.
They're going to be nervous. See how that strategy works out for Biffle and the boys. Sadler, Johnson, Martin, McMurray behind Greg Biffle. At Dover, you're watching NASCAR on TNT.
He's been taking most of the day.
And, well, he gets a run off the corner, though. But if the 2 can just move it up 4 feet and get himself in position where he can drift up and slide up in front of the 8, that this time he's got the pass done.
Like
kept
that.
working him far enough, long enough. Junior goes to the bottom, but I don't think it's going to work down there for him.
He doesn't like it down there.
No.
How about that 8-car, Alan?
Well, my driver friends up there in the booth, here's what Junior's saying about his car. It is loose in, loose off, tight in the center. Now, to somebody like me, that means he's fighting it.
To me too, Alan.
Yeah, thank you, BP. I appreciate the confirmation.
They've stretched it out single file right now. Sorensen thinking about trying to use that Earnhardt line. Martin Truex Jr. has caught this pack. He's in 10th. He's going to get inside of Sorensen, perhaps, for position. Yep, if you're in that high groove, you get a good run off.
Yeah, you got to keep working it. You got to just keep moving up in the center to where you got enough you can drift in front of them coming off the corner. He got it done that time.
I tell you what, it looks to me like the guys that can run the ball of the racetrack. Matt Kenseth, the 1-car Truex, the guys that can't, Clint Boyer. If they stay on the bottom now, they've got these guys like Junior that's on the high of the racetrack. I don't think they win.
Yeah, I agree. You watch Junior working that wheel. I think he went a little bit too high that time.
I think he did too.
There you go.
Yeah.
But loose in is bad. Very, very bad at Dover. I don't care about loose anywhere else as far as in the middle or coming off. But if you're loose turning in this place, because you turn right here, you go over the bump, down the hill, and it is just scary when you're loose getting in.
Truex got around him, and Sorensen could be next.
Just become real, you're afraid to turn the wheel. So you almost drive in straight, let the car land, then you drive the steering wheel down to the left.
I'm sorry, Bill.
You go ahead, BP.
Looks like Truex has got a pretty good race car day.
He does, Benny. And talking to his crew chief, Bono Mannion, this morning, he said, you know what? Starting 33rd, we're not that worried. We think we can pass race cars. And relating to what you've just been seeing and what Jamie McMurray's doing right now, when other cars wash up, our car will stick to the bottom. That's how you pass race cars at Dover.
A battle for 3rd position between Elliott Sadler, 19, Mark Martin, 6, also the 17 of Kenseth.
17 with fresher tires.
Boy, there it shows right there.
6 and the 19 did not pit under the last caution.
Robbie Reiser, the crew chief on this 17 car, is the guy that told me that he felt like you're going to have to run the bottom to win the race here, that you could not run high on the track.
Did he tell Matt?
Well, see, he was passing 6 car on the outside.
Okay.
Then he'll go back to the bottom of the racetrack. Come on, Robbie, bottom.
That's your story, and you're sticking to it, right?
Exactly.
Greg Biffle led 15 of the first 20 races this season. This is the first race he has led. In the last 9, he's out front by 4 seconds.
Hammer away on that low line, making his way around the racetrack, currently in the 7th position. After the last stop, they said, well, we know 2 tires won't work for us late in the race. They made a 2-tire stop earlier, and they did not like that at all. Alan?
Well, Reed Sorensen was the leader when the caution came out back at lap 204. When others did not pit, he was shuffled back to 8th in line. He runs in 8th right now. Sorensen complaining about a lack of rear-end grip in his car right now, Dave.
Elliott Sadler out on older tires. And remember, he only took 2 right-side tires the last time he did stop. He will have to come back in again around that lap 275 mark, Matt.
Burton and his crew chief Scott Miller had high expectations coming into Dover, especially when you look at Burton's last 8 races here. 50% of them have all been top 5 finishes, and he won the first race here in June. The car, though, now just way too tight, slightly off, like it has been most of the weekend. Marty?
Matt, they asked Carl Edwards how his setup was or how the car was handling. He said, it's all right, not great, not bad, but it's so loose loose at the beginning of the run and takes so long for it to come in that Carl feels like he's losing a lot of track position early in the run. Alan?
Just behind Carl Edwards is Dale Earnhardt Jr. He continues to struggle with the handling of that car. Earnhardt Jr. getting right side tires only on his stop at lap 206. And Jeff Gordon trying to challenge Jr. for that position. Remember, Gordon started on pole for this event. He has just kind of been fighting the handling of this car since he got shuffled back in traffic way back at lap number 24. Oh, he's going to get this spot right now over Jr.
Yeah, Junior pointed him by, Alan. I think saw 24 was a little bit better. He just pointed out the window and said, take it on the low side.
And here comes the 17 car of Kenseth trying to get by the 48 for second position. And he doesn't have to stop for gas for 25, 30 laps, does he?
And he's closing in on Biffle, which, you know, Biffle wanted as much cushion as he could have or get if he had to come in and pit, but he's only 2 seconds behind the leader, so
Biffle's in trouble.
Biffle's in big trouble. As everyone else who didn't pit.
Well, here's the, even if it goes green flag the rest of the way, Biffle's in trouble because he's got to stop twice.
Out of sequence.
And Kenseth may be able to make it on one more stop.
Boy, it would be close. There's your race leader, Greg Biffle. He has led 57 laps.
It's in time, 3,800 seconds.
But he's not going to lead the next one.
Oh, my goodness.
They elected to stay out under the caution. Now they have to pit under the green.
Right here. Right there. Boom.
Coming to you, Alan.
Yeah, now what this crew is hoping for is that this race stays green for a long time. Everybody else has to pit under green, then the yellow comes out, and everybody comes down pit road together, regrouping them with their track position. For now, though, Biffle going to go at least one lap down. It'll be a 4-tire change here for the 16 team, and you heard them warn him about his pit road speed. The last thing you want on a green flag stop is a speeding penalty, which would take you out of any chance to get back in sync with the leaders if the race runs green long enough. Fairly smooth looking stop so far, and we'll see how far behind the 16 car is.
He's going to be back there a ways.
That's a lot of hoping for.
Yeah.
Green, and then everybody stopped, then yellow, and oh boy.
Under the caution at lap 166, Matt Kenseth pitted, was out of his box, had to back up, get back in the pit box, then make their stop, then came out. He went in as the leader, restarted 19th. Now he has worked his way back to the front on lap 267. More on the 17 from Marty.
It's been an amazing recovery for these guys. They knew they had a fast car, so when they were in the back, they also tried to keep Matt as patient and as calm as possible. And they've done a good job of working their way back up through the field. To answer BP's question, yes, they can make it on one more stop. And for Jimmie Johnson, the man just behind him on the racetrack, in second position, about 20 laps from now, they will have to pit. Jack Knaus just radioed Jimmy a few moments ago. About lap 280 to 285 is when they expect Jimmy on pit road.
So that means he has to stop twice. He cannot make it the rest of the way. I don't think he can.
Last stop 186 for that 48 bunch. Well, Matt Kenseth tamed the monster in June when he told Robbie Reiser, I'm not stopping under the caution. Drove the car to the checkers and to victory lane, trying to do it again. Still under green here at Dover. Clint Bowyer runs 6th right now. He won the race yesterday, the Busch race here at Dover. Matt Kenseth finished 2nd, and Kenseth currently the race leader this afternoon. The Busch Series at Kansas next Saturday afternoon. You'll see it live right here on TNT.
See, Jason Leffler was first in class, the first NASCAR Busch Series regular. Finished 5th.
Kenseth the race leader. Then it's Johnson, Kurt Busch, Mark Martin, and Martin Truex Jr. Remember when Matt made his Nextel Cup debut here?
Sure do.
Yeah. For Elliott, wasn't it?
Yep.
I think Bill Elliott's father passed away or something that weekend, and
He ran good. I remember that.
Finished 6th, I believe.
That's correct. Won here in June. His only win at Dover. Was 35th last September. Only 2 top 10s in his last 5 races here. but he is all over it today. Kenseth is currently the championship leader. Kevin Harvick came in as the championship leader, Dave.
And Bill, he's fallen from 9th to 16th on the track, 15th now on the track. During that last pit stop, they took on 2 right side tires. Todd Berrier told me 2 stops before that, we won't try to for track position till we get the car closer to right. They thought they had it. It didn't work. Kevin radioed back. This car needs 4 every time. Something's messed up.
Yeah, Junior found out too, didn't work too well on that 8 car last stop.
Sometimes you just got to try it and prove it to yourself, don't you? Carl Edwards in the 99, Clint Bowyer in the 07. They're racing back there for 6th. They're about 10 seconds behind that man, Matt Kenseth, in the 17. Well, that looked like a good idea then.
Yeah.
See how
Well,
it plays out.
you just got to gamble sometimes. I mean, to get that track position and put yourself in a position to win these races, you're always gambling.
Here's Mark Martin, another driver that's going to have to pit under the green. Dave?
And they said they were going to make no changes because Mark was pretty happy with the race car. The big problem to the end will be track position. They clear a window tear-off to give him a better view. It will be a 4-tire stop. They had considered 2, but they're going to put fresh rubber all the way around for Mark. Rick Machinsky will fill it full of fuel, and Mark leaves.
Pretty good pit stop. There's something on that grill of that car.
Yeah, he's got a big hole in the grill.
Yeah.
Something flew through there.
Dave?
And they did call for a change late. Apparently Pat Tryson wanted a wedge adjustment in that car late. The crew looking back at him, what did you want me to change? Apparently it was wedge. It didn't happen.
We'll see how that works out. And there's Kenseth, the race leader. Earnhardt Jr. runs 27th right now. Matt Kenseth has led 109 laps today, and the first driver to reach the 1,000 laps led mark in 2006.
Hey, Marty. Hey, Marty, 48's coming to you.
He's going to come down pit road, give up second place BP under these green flag stops. Like we've talked about with all of these cars making green flag stops, they hope it stays green. And everybody else also has to make a green flag stop. For Jimmy, he said, I'm pretty happy with it. Actually, the longer they ran, the better they got. It's kind of tight at the beginning of the run, but for him, it frees up the longer that they go. So Jimmy, what they're going to do is put a half round of wedge in the right rear. That's all they're going to do for the 48 car. A little bit tight, as we said, a little bit tight, as we said, at the end of that run, and a quick stop for the 48 car.
That was a great stop.
This is the race for second. Truex Jr. in the 1. Kurt Busch in the 2. And this is about 8.5 seconds behind Matt Kenseth.
That's a complete corner as Matt Kenseth comes off turn 4 on the front straightaway. Those guys are leaving the back straightaway to go into turn 3.
Gonna knock Ken Schrader another lap down. Matt Kenseth, the race leader at Dover. And the field is just going by him now.
Just don't roll down the racetrack, Scott. Just.
Boy, he got out of there quick.
I don't blame him. Set fire over there in that right front.
Yeah, but it's a lot of work to get out of those things nowadays.
Not when it's hot.
He did forget to unhook his helmet. They
can fix all that.
There we go.
Just up into the wall.
Well, I can guess what happened there, can't you?
I think I'd be with you on that one.
Junior got lucky. He didn't.
You're speculating right front tire.
Yeah. I mean, he made it run over something and punctured the tire, but that may be the same thing that happened to Junior. I don't know.
So Riggs into the ambulance, mandatory trip to the infield care center, and all that hoping and hoping and hoping some of these guys were doing didn't work out. Pit road is closed.
Well, there's a lot of cars a lap down.
Some guys will stay out and be at the tail end of the lead lap, so they'll be in front of the race leader, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, and they'll be hoping for a yellow.
Oh, we know how that works. Of course, sometimes when you get those restarts, you do get a yellow.
You just don't want to be in it.
That's right.
Martin Truex would be one that would stay out because he was on pit road. How unlucky can you get?
Sometimes it's good to be lucky.
Uh-oh, we got a fire, boys. Where's the fire extinguisher? It blazed back up again. There we go.
We have 10 cars scored on the lead lap right now. Again, after the leader stopped, we'll see how this plays out. And this is unfortunate for the leaders because I don't think they can make it from here.
It's going to be a struggle for them. If it goes green flag, no, they can't. Right. With a bunch of caution flags, some of them may try it.
And we're going to be under yellow a little while here.
Yeah, but the pits are open now.
Not going to be too many guys on pit lane, only 10 of them.
That's right. Kenseth has a good jump on them.
Finally, some sanity on pit road. 10 cars.
Dave?
One of those 10 will be Kevin Harvick, who commented to his crew after that two-tire change. Not such a great idea, was it? That's when he was going straight backwards. 4 tires for him now. He's going to need a chassis adjustment. Still wants to slide the rear end of that car around. Matt?
Kurt Busch working on his second career top 5 finish for Dover. They've already made a track bar adjustment. The car way too tight on that run, Marty.
Matt Kenseth has been setting a blistering pace out there. Only 10 cars on the lead lap. They wanted to keep him in here as long as they could to make sure they got all the fuel in they could. Alan?
Reed Sorensen pits from 4th place, wants more grip in the right rear. They made an air pressure adjustment. Randy Hildreth, the gas man, tried to pack the car full of gasoline.
We saw that up and down pit road, Alan. Guys trying to get as much fuel in there as possible in case they have to try and make it to the end. Well, this will be fun. 100 laps to go at Dover. We'll sort out the running order when we come back. To you by Craftsman. Craftsman tools are the official tools of NASCAR. Craftsman at Sears. By Ameriquest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American Dream. And by Garnier Fructis. Unleash your style. Marty, what's going on down there?
Chatting with Robbie Reiser and about his race car. Now, Matt's going to have to start in some traffic back there. Is that going to hurt you?
Well, being back in traffic always hurts you. You never know what happens. But, you know, he's done a great job. He's had to come through traffic today because of the mistake we made on pit road. And car seems pretty good, so we'll see what happens here.
I asked him about the fuel. He said, we are definitely short. I will have to stop.
And down in the 2 pit, Roy McCauley, how close are you on fuel?
Pretty close. I think you can fill that bottle with it right there. The Miller Lite Dodge has been steady. Kurt Busch has done a great job. The crew's done a great job. So bring us home for a good finish here, and we'll see what happens. A little less than 100 to go. Got some strong cars ahead of us. See what happens.
Restart from the 3rd position. His right front, like a lot of other drivers, because he was tight, was wore down to the cords. Alan?
Reed Sorensen's team just brought him down pit road last lap under the caution, topped off the fuel tank. Jimmy Elledge told me just before that they were 7 laps shy of the finish. They gave up 7th spot. They came back out in 8th, so they only gave up 1 spot to put another however much fuel they got into it, probably a half a gallon or so, if that. But why not? At that point, they had nothing to lose.
That could be the difference.
Yep. Remember, it was the race in California, Labor Day weekend, Bill. These guys tried to win it on fuel mileage. They came up just short.
Exactly.
3 miles short.
He's done that twice this year, Sorensen.
And the 11 came in, Harvick came in, Blaney came in, all did the same thing. Packed the fuel tanks.
And the 43 of Bobby Labonte, the lucky dog, and Labonte has scored 10th. Benny, they're coming to get the green, but
we got time to cue the duck. Where is that little fella? Cue the duck.
He's been missing you.
Affleck.
Time for our Affleck trivia question. Who was the last rookie contender to lead the championship standings?
Who was the last rookie contender? Beats me.
Jimmy Johnson.
How about that?
Our Affleck trivia question. All right, the race leader is Matt Kenseth. He's the 4th car in the left-hand lane there. Johnson, Truex, Biffle on the tail end of the lead lap.
And Biffle did not get that blinding start that he's been getting starting up there. Has already lost a couple of spots.
Truex trying to work under McMurray.
Oh.
The 17 tries to get under Johnson in the 48.
And Truex in that one car has the better tire. Remember, he was on pit road when Scott Riggs brought out the caution flag, so his tires are basically brand new.
And he really would like to keep these guys a lap down because they are good race cars, and he wants to get them lapped down and go. He doesn't want to have to race these guys in about another 80 laps.
Kenseth from the 17 has already gotten by Jimmy Johnson. He's now a lap down. Kenseth trying to put Biffle a lap down.
Those guys want Kenseth to stay behind them. Kenseth wants to get around them. The 17 car has led 129 of the 308 laps. Uh-oh.
Oh, good run in the middle there. Oh, it gets Biffle a little bit sideways. Biffle slips just a little bit.
And Johnson's gonna...
He wants to get by the 17, but... 17's got the 16 behind him.
And those are teammates, 17 and 16, both drive for Jack Roush. Same with the 26, Jamie McMurray. Marty.
Matt Kenseth moving up through the field and didn't act like a guy who was trying to save some fuel, even though that was the order from the 17 pit earlier.
All right, how far are we away, Rob? Just so I got some idea here with the save. I've been idling around here pretty good. Okay, if it's a green-white checker, I'm in trouble. If it's not, I'm okay. Okay, so you're telling me I can run hard 95 laps, or okay? Well, I use your head. I'm right there. You know what I mean? Okay.
And Matt Kenseth does that better than anyone. A very cerebral driver using his head. And today he's done an excellent job. Remember, they fell back in the field earlier when they had the problem on pit road. Worked his way back up through the field. Has clearly been the dominant car. Now he's trying to finish it off.
Marty, what's the answer?
The answer is BP. They're a little bit short, I think.
Thank you.
I think Robbie is planning on at least one caution of about 5 laps. I think that's what Robbie's planning on.
He's planning or
he's planning. Now,
hoping.
Robbie and I went over this morning the cautions traditionally over the last 5 years here at Dover. He said normally there are at least 6 cautions in the last 150 laps at a Dover race. So that's the average, usually 5 to 6 cautions here at Dover in the final few laps. He's counting on some of those at least.
There's that hope thing again.
Yeah, there's a lot of hoping going on. We hope that we can get an answer a little bit quicker next time from Marty. But
He was being cerebral. That's the 18th position. Ryan Newman looking back at race leader Matt Kenseth. You got something on Ryan, Matt?
He's 2 laps down now, though, Bill. Back on lap 293, came on the radio, said my right rear tire is junk. Matt Borland quickly called in the pit road, and for good measure, because when they took that right rear tire off, this is what the team found. He had worn it down to the cords all the way across the entire carcass of the tire. He was just so loose. The right front had extreme wear as well. Because he was fighting that tight, loose condition, they lost 2 laps. This could definitely be the end of his chance for a good run today. Now he's just trying to get his laps back.
Got a lot of work to do. Only 85 laps to do it. Only 12 cars on the lead lap. Kenseth has a 2.5-second lead over Kurt Busch. Then it's Carl Edwards, Clint Bowyer, and Jeff Burton. So Robbie Reiser, crew chief for Matt Kenseth, says you can make it. I think, if you save me some fuel, unless we go green-white checkers. We'll see. The start-finish line.
Biffle is happy about that.
Because he is the dog.
He is the lucky dog.
And now he can stop and get 4 fresh tires.
Oh, he's a happy dog.
He is a happy camper.
So that was good strategy on their part, wasn't it?
Perfect strategy. Doug Richard, you're a genius.
So you see JJ coming off a 4.
That's what we talked about earlier.
All by himself.
Yeah,
I just can't believe this.
Just right when you just are hard on the throttle, too. Jump on the gas. I can't believe he didn't hit anything either.
Or someone hit him. 38 car had a pretty good chance to hit him.
Yep.
As did Michael Waltrip in the 55.
He just touched the wall.
Here is the 55 BP.
Yeah, this is a good chance to wreck right here. Oh, yeah. Thank goodness he went that way. Because I think Michael was committed to that way. This way.
Michael's 30th, 3 laps down. So when Biffle, who is the lucky dog, comes around, there'll be 13 cars on the lead lap.
And Matt Kenseth did not pit.
What?
Did not pit. Dave, they're coming down pit road to you.
And that will include the 29 of Kevin Harvick. Last run so tight I couldn't drive it. They'll take Wedge out of the left rear, give Kevin 4 fresh tires, and hope he can go to the front from here, Matt.
Jeff Burton gives up a 5th place run at the moment. You can still see some slight cosmetic damage, and they do a little tug on that left front fender. No air pressure change, Alan, but they did make a track bar adjustment again.
Jeff Gordon did not like that set of tires that was on his car. They did have fuel to make the finish, but they've come in anyway. They're going to put a little fuel in for a margin of error. They've changed 4 tires, and they also were looking to pull a rubber out of the car to help the handling.
31, get in front of that 31.
That's a pretty good battle right there off pit road.
Well, Matt Kenseth wondering about things right about now. But similar to what he did in June, he stayed out when a lot of guys pitted. Kenseth won. Under caution, J.J. Yeley with the spin.
But it's just not turning out to be his day where this championship is concerned, huh?
You're not kidding.
Have a hard time getting down now. I don't know if he's just trying to feel it out right now to see if he's just trying to make sure he does have a flat, because I mean, you get sideways in each end of the racetrack, you think you have a problem. So he's kind of back on it right now, trying to feel it out, see if he does have a flat tire.
Junior has fallen to 26th. There are 13 cars on the lead lap right now. Jimmy Johnson is the first car 1 lap down.
Not hitting pit lane. I think he dropped back there to make sure it wasn't a problem.
Well, I guess we're surprised the 17 didn't stop, but right now it's working out. Marty, what do you know?
You guys were surprised, but it was unanimous originally. Matt Kenseth came on the radio, said, I don't think we should stop here. Robbie Reiser said, I agree. This caution is our insurance to make it all the way to the end of the race on fuel. Now, when all those guys came in behind Matt, he said, maybe we should have come down pit road and gotten on some fresh tires. But remember the June race. Matt Kenseth stayed out on the racetrack on old tires. They went on to win the race. They think now they have the fuel to make it all the way.
We'll be watching Marty Sorensen and Jeff Burton. It's for 3rd.
His 41 car has been good all day. I don't know, though, if he can keep a car with 4 fresh tires behind him.
I agree, VP. And maybe right now, but another 20 or 30 laps, if this thing stays green, I think the guys that change tires are going to be a lot faster than the guys that didn't.
I also think Jeff Burton really wants those points for passing that car. We'll see how it plays out. Matt Kenseth leads by a second over Kurt Busch. He started the season at Daytona, then won at California, won here at Dover, won at Michigan and Bristol.
7 or better. Right now they're 6th. Marty?
It's been a solid day for Carl Edwards as well, running in the top 10 for most of the afternoon. Early in the race, looked like he had the fastest car out there. Kind of settled in late in the race, though. And for Carl, the car right now just a little bit too tight to make any more progress. Running in the 8th position right now behind Carl Edwards on the racetrack is Bobby Labonte. And Dave is up next.
And Marty, the 2004 and 2005 Busch Series champion Martin Truex Jr. hit it on lap 296 under green. Scott Riggs crashed that lap, but they only were hurt by getting put at the tail end of the lead lap. They were able to then pit later on the last caution. No changes to the car. That's how well Martin likes it. Lucky break. 29 of Kevin Harvick is working his way back up through the field. They made that wedge adjustment on the last run, but he really hasn't made much progress since the restart, trying to keep pace with Matt Kenseth in the points. Alan?
Well, Greg Biffle kind of resurrecting himself from being in trouble earlier. Remember, he had to pit under the green at lap 264, then got caught by a yellow at lap number 296. They got the lucky dog under the last caution. He's come back around now, and Biffle running in 11th, hoping for another maybe yellow to try and gain some more spots, Matt.
AB at the top top of our show, Denny Hamlin essentially said, I just want to survive today, and he has to get an A+ on that effort. He was 11th here in June, started out the chase of the top 5, and it seems like he would have a top 5 right now as well as he is running. And here's mine. He said, I know one thing, this race has definitely taken its toll on me. I am completely worn out.
Dave, the last 2 weeks, Dave Blaney has finished in the top 10. He's running near the top 10 today, running 13th right now. Another good run for them. A wedge adjustment on the last stop for a tight race car. Marty.
This has not been the day Jimmie Johnson won it, though, Dave. Currently in the 14th position, got out of sequence, had to pit under green, lost a lap. As you can see, a lap and a third down right now. Told me earlier this week he highlighted Dover as a place where he could gain points, though. He will lose to both the 17 and 29 teams here today. Dave.
Mark Martin chasing down the 48 car, trying to become the lucky dog. He did go a lap down when the caution came out, trying to get it back. And the 29 car, by the way, reporting problems. It drew up on the wall. Keeping an eye on Kevin Harvick's now. Alan?
Well, since Dale Earnhardt Jr. came on the radio and said he thought he might have had a tire going down, he's not said anything since. Dale Earnhardt Jr. had the problems earlier where he had the tire go down at lap 281. It dropped him 2.5 laps behind the leader all the way to 28th at the time. And right now the 8 car only running in 25th position. That's going to be a very, very tough day for the driver who came in 7th in the championship.
Thanks, guys. Kasey Kahne out of the race, scored in the 38th spot. Kyle Busch scored in the 40th spot, also out of the race. Dave, you got more on the 29?
Yeah, Bill, he's going through the same exercises that Kyle Busch went through earlier in the race. Switching ignition boxes, checking batteries. It's a motor issue with the Goodwrench Chevy.
Thanks, Dave. Kenseth out front, 1.8 seconds ahead of Jeff Burton with 46 to go.
During the commercial break, we heard him talking to the crew chief, Todd Berrier, about maybe it was a broken header or something, but Dave, it sure sounds like it's more than that.
Yeah, BP, when he first reported, of course, he was fishing for something that was wrong with the race car, and it was only a minor problem, and as you can now hear, it's gone progressively south, getting worse.
And it doesn't get better.
No, it doesn't get better. That's exactly right. Normally, it gets worse until it blows. BP, he's just got, if he can hang in there for 38 laps, it'll make a big difference at the end of the day. If it does break, he's going to take quite a hit in the points. Sitting second right now.
So he saw 8,200 RPMs. That should be 9,200 RPMs. So he's easily lost 1,000 RPMs down the straightaway.
Burton has been running the fastest laps of the 25.4. And Harvick is running 26.6. So
right.
And Burton is also closing in on Kenseth.
He's only a half second behind Kenseth.
How about that 31, Matt?
Well, he quickly passed the 2-car Kurt Busch, who was on older tires. Now the 31. Remember, his car was so loose before they made that last stop. Their adjustments has helped. Fresher tires helping as well. He's close with half a second of Burton. He can see him in his sights, and what a day these guys have had. They had contact earlier, rebounded from that when they had the issue with 25. This is the kind of top 5 run they need, especially if you look at their whole weekend in general. They were a little bit off. They really turned it around. Marty?
Matt, meanwhile, for his teammate Clint Bowyer, things are not going so well. Just like Kevin Harvick, Richard Childress came on the radio, said Harvick is losing his engine. Bowyer also losing his engine. Electrical problems. They think they might have lost a valve spring. They're currently in 5th, trying to hang on to it as best they can, although a lot of cars are going to start to go around them here pretty soon.
Yeah, I don't think the 29 is going to see the end of this race, because I just saw a lot of smoke come out of that car. In fact, he's slowing down on the backstretch right now. There he is. That's out the back of the car, so he is finished.
Kevin Harvick.
It's all done there, guys.
He's won the last 2 races.
Simple.
And came in as the
I'm
champion.
in the garage to see, but I'm sure we are.
Came in as the championship leader, now headed for the garage with 33 laps to go.
And Wally, we talked about when Matt Kenseth decided not to pit on that last caution flag, and some other guys did, and you said he would show up in about 30, 40 laps. Well, right now, it's showing up. Jeff Burton with those 4 fresh tires he's closing up around the back bumper of Matt Kenseth.
Yeah, the thing is that Burton can get around traffic a lot better than Kenseth. Kenseth he's using all the racetrack to get his lap time. Burton doesn't have to, so I think Kenseth is in trouble.
And here's something else about Jeff Burton. After the story that came out at New Hampshire last Sunday about whether or not their wheels had been, you know,
tampered with.
Yeah, tampered with. The NASCAR said no, and the cars made it through post-race inspection. Jeff Burton came here more determined than I've seen him in a long, long time. And he knows if he can get back to victory lane today, that would mean a lot.
Those wheels are working good now.
175 races since Burton's last victory.
Matt, what about this 31? What are they saying?
Well, they've used those headlines as pretty much motivation like an NFL team does for the opposing team. But BP, every time the 07, and now the 29's gone to the garage, but every time the 07 goes by, you can see the look of concern on the faces of the guys here in the 31 pit, because typically when something happens to a teammate engine-wise, they're all the same parts. Usually it happens to you as well, Alan, so there's a lot of concern here in the 31 pit.
Kevin Harvick has just climbed from his car. He's walking away just for a moment. See if we can get a thought from Kevin. Kevin, I know you must be terribly disappointed. Some thoughts?
I blew up. Guys have done a great job all year, and that's the first time we've had an engine failure in I don't know how long. So, good day for the GM Goodwin Chevrolet. Guys did good, and what do you do?
Thanks, Kevin.
Harvick has been running at the end of every Cup and every Busch race this year. Jeff Burton all over the bumper of Matt Kenseth for the lead with 28 laps to go at Dover. Marty.
And that's exactly what you're talking about with Jeff Burton. That has happened to Matt Kenseth today. They have not been able to make the car work as well on this run. Matt said it's extremely tight, and the line he wants to run is right on the bottom of the racetrack. They have not adjusted on this car on the last 2 stops, and this is the first time Matt's mentioned the car being tight since about lap 100.
Matt Burton trying all kinds of different lines to work his way around the 17. One of his best friends here in the NASCAR garage area is Matt Kenseth. He tries to work the bottom again. He has said many times, I went to Richard Childress Racing not to end my career, but to restart it. Looks like he's definitely doing that, not only this season, but definitely today.
Just can't quite complete it.
If he could stay up next to him, he just, you know, Matt had a little bit more speed coming off that high side. Matt's doing a great job. I mean, he's doing a great job with that car and the tires that it's on. So he's trying to do everything he can to take away whatever line Jeff Burton wants. He's trying to take that away.
4 top 5s for Burton this season. His best finish, second at Chicago. These guys used to be teammates at Roush.
Whoa!
Check that. Jeff Burton's let signal. Here we go.
But he doesn't have enough to drift up the racetrack. So Kenseth has got the run. Now Burton can just stay there and scoot through the center. He may have enough to pull it off. But the 17 car gets such a good run off the corner. It's not enough for Burton. Good racing.
16-15 now to go.
And you know Jeff Burton wants this as badly as anyone has ever won the victory, because it's been a long time.
And you heard what Jeff said on the pre-race show, that Richard Childress told him, I will do whatever it takes to get back on top in this series. Burton with 17 career wins. Kenseth won here in the spring. Both these drivers chasing the Nextel Cup championship. The only other driver in the chase in the top 10 right now is Jeff Gordon, who's in 6th. Denny Hamlin is 11th, Johnson 13th, Martin 14th.
Now traffic could come into play here. If Kenseth catches one of these guys just the wrong way and just has to stay off that throttle just a little bit, it may be enough for Burton. Up beside him, coming off the corner now. A little bit sideways, 31. He's got to have that racetrack to be able to drift.
How fine is that line between making the pass and putting it's going the wrong way?
It's very fine. I mean, you got, like I said, Burton is showing how fine that line is right now. I mean, he's right there. But he knows he's got to stay beside him, almost nose to nose, side by side, going into the corner for him to have a shot of being able to pass him on the exit of the corner.
Because he's running so much faster through the center of the corner, that's where he can get that advantage if he can watch just how much faster he is in the center. But it's off the corner. He needs the entire racetrack, as Wally has kept saying.
Be 10 to go when they get to the line this time. They're in turn 3.
No, Matt drifted up pretty high that lap.
This could be it.
He's a little bit higher than he's normally been drifting there.
It's a huge run off the turn.
Yeah, but he's got to be careful not to slide up too high, because if he slides up too high, he's going to open that door for Burton.
Full race clean.
And that's one thing. You got two guys that you don't have to worry about. They're a little bit of a slide there from the 17. I mean, they'll race each other clean, and that's what's fun when you're in this position right here. You know the other guy's not going to wreck you.
Inside of 9 to go. Matt Kenseth has led 212 laps today. Jeff Burton has not led.
He is so close.
8 laps to go. 8.
You know, tell you what, inside that car, Matt's doing everything he can do. He's got the worst tires, and he's doing a great job right now holding that line, taking away just enough to where Burton can't make the pass.
And I hope that they did their math right as far as fuel was concerned. Side by side at the start-finish line, Kenseth still has it.
But Burton's a little bit closer to him now than he has been.
Right now, this will be the key. If he can stay side by side. Nope, he can't do it. Because he's getting a little bit loose off that bottom. When he's on the bottom of another car and he's trying to get on the throttle, he's loose. So he's got to backpedal a little bit, got to get off the throttle a little bit. That's just enough for the 17 to pull ahead.
Marty.
About 4 laps ago, Matt Kenseth came on the radio and in a very exhausted voice said, how many laps left? How many laps left? As if to say, how much longer do I have to hold him behind me?
There it is.
No longer.
Clear. All right, buddy, drive away from him now.
This is down the backstretch. Burton is taking the lead.
Good job. Settle in now. Settle in. He can't catch you. 5 to go.
And 5 bonus points for the 31 car.
Kenseth hasn't given up just quite yet.
No.
He's going to change his line. He's running a little bit higher now to see if he can get more grip up there. But it doesn't look like it's going to get enough.
Well, he gets a good run. I mean, he gets a good run getting off the corner. Here's where they're even. Here's where the 31's faster. Now the 17 will get a good run getting off the corner.
4 to go.
That lap, Kenseth was quicker than Burton.
21 of Schrader. Schrader is 3 laps down.
But the tough thing, the way he's running, Matt Kenseth, it's going to be tough to make the pass on Burton, the line he's running.
Matt.
175 races now, Bill, since he's last won. But when he won a Busch race in the spring in Atlanta, he was holding back his emotions when he said, you never know how long it's going to be between victories. He's got a number of years. He is only now about 2 laps away from ending that long drought, and especially making another big hit in a positive way, chasing the Nextel Cup.
2 laps to go. And I'll tell you, the weather is moving in here in a hurry.
Rapidly.
Oh, no. 17 is slowing down. He's out of gas.
Robbie.
Oh.
This really killed us, you guys. This is stupid.
Marty.
Use the pit road. We'll get it down. Get the pizza right here.
Bill, you can hear the conversations. Matt Kenseth saying this was stupid, guys. This killed us. He said, I'm out of gas. I'm out of gas. The last lap, Matt Kenseth runs out of fuel.
So there's a 41, it looks
looks like.
Reed Sorensen is on the apron. Jeff Burton is in turn 3. It's a long road back.
I want to thank y'all for putting me back in this deal. You guys have resurrected my deal. Thank you so much. Good job. Woo!
Jeff Burton's going back to victory lane.
Good job, guys.
It's his wife, Kim.
Crew Chief Scott Miller. What if he knows how to do burnouts? What if he's going to do a burnout?
I think he's old school.
Yeah, he'd be in such a hurry to get back to victory lane.
Yeah.
And Jeff Burton unofficially leads the championship standings by 2 points over Matt Kenseth. You can hear the fans. Chevrolet congratulates Jeff Burton and the 31 Monte Carlo SS on another great Team Chevy victory. 25 of the last 34 NASCAR Manufacturers Championships and counting. Chevy, an American revolution. Competitors and friends.
Matt Kenseth stopped and congratulated Jeff Burton.
Remember when Jeff and Kim first came in the Busch Series?
You know, we have seen a shot of Kim several times. One of the greatest memories I've got doing television was at Martinsville, Virginia, when Jeff Burton won his first Busch Series race. And Kim going from the back stretch to the front stretch. Unbelievable.
Matt Yoakum.
Bill, you can just feel the excitement and the emotion out here in the 31 pit. What's this mean for you to get him back into victory lane, Scott Miller?
Well, it's really special. I mean, it's special to take this 31 car to victory lane, and especially since Jeff was kind of down there for a while, he's been really trying hard to get back to victory lane, and I'm just proud to be a part of getting him back there.
Came on the radio and he told these guys, thank you. It was your pit stops and your strategy that did it for us today.
Car owner Richard Childress turned 61 on this weekend. Jeff Burton's first duty here at the track this week, he walked into the media center and said the reports after the New Hampshire race made him feel like he just wanted to come in here and kick butt. And that's what he did today at Dover. Jeff Burton, his first win in 175 races, and he's headed back to victory lane. Alan Bestwick.
It's been a while since he's done this, but I'll bet he hasn't forgotten how. Jeff's family here with him. He's already had a long line of visitors, from Mark Martin to Greg Biffle to Kevin Harvick to Richard Childress. Jeff, congratulations. It's been a long time. Emotions on a thrilling win.
That was a heck of a race. You know, it's so much fun racing Matt and those guys. You know, that was a hard race. I finally snuck by him, and I think he ran out of fuel. I hate to see that. It was a really tough race. And, you know, I just so appreciative for Singular and SKF and Coke and, you know, everybody, probably like everybody on this car that stuck with us through some times that weren't so tough. And thank Richard for believing in me, and this team for resurrecting me. This team has brought me back into it, and I'm so grateful for it.
You talked earlier this summer about the fact that you never gave up on yourself. It's been a long time since you'd won one of these races. Tell us about that.
Well, it has been a long time, and you know, I felt like we just kept putting ourselves in position we'd have a chance, and we've been doing a good job of that this year, and we didn't lead till the end, and we were right when it counted. So the thing that we were struggling with, we did the best today. Pit stop, like the last pit stop, and the strategy is what won the race. And those guys laid out. We beat like 3 cars off pit road, and you can see how close it was with Matt. That was the difference between winning and finishing second.
Tell me about the winning pass. You had to work at that one for a while.
Matt's he's such a great racer, and that's such a great race team. And I knew when I got to him, he was running the top and I was running the bottom. I knew it was going to take a long time, and just finally I drove in there a little deeper than I should have, and the back end rolled around, and I just got in the gas and it stuck. And it was an opportune time, but again, man, buddy.
Clint Boyer, his teammate.
It's
feels really good to have the support of these guys and so many people. And when things aren't going well, you just can't quit. You just got to keep fighting. We got 8 to go. This deal isn't over. We got 8 to go, and we can't lose focus. This is a great deal, but we can't lose focus on what we got going the next 8 weeks.
Unofficially, as they're rechecking everything, but you are the championship leader barely at the end of this race. I thought there.
Well, we'll take it, and a great weekend for RCR to finish, sweep the weekend. That's really good, and real proud of the effort that everybody, not just the singular team or all 360 employees at RCR have stepped it up and doing an incredible job.
Congratulations.
And it's getting ready to rain.
Yes, it is. Jeff Burton has won at Dover. Marty.
Alan, fun to see Jeff Burton in victory lane, and it was awesome to watch these two old friends go into spirited battle at the end of the race. Now, walk me through those final few laps. Was fuel even a consideration for you?
Obviously it was. I didn't know it was. When we got our last caution with 80 to go or 70 to go, they said we were fine. There was absolutely no problem at all, even with the green and white checkered. So I didn't even think about it. So that's pretty frustrating. I almost gave the race away, messed it up in the pits, and I was pretty pumped up. We were able to overcome that and lead the race, and thought we had the best car. We just had an electrical problem in the car that hurt us, and I think that cost us the lead. We had some fans going out and stuff, so that cost us the lead, but we didn't have enough gas to get there anyway, so just kind of frustrating.
Somehow, though, Matt Kenseth still finishes 10th, and he's 3rd in the championship standings. Dave?
His Roush Racing teammate there, Carl.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The first pit stop, I was driving to a pit that was not mine. I don't know which one I was going for, but and then we got a little behind on pit road on that last stop. But we got to say congratulations to Jeff Burton. He helped me a lot early in my career, and it's cool to see him win. But man, I think it's gonna get wet here in a minute, and I just thanks to Office Depot, Coca-Cola, everybody involved. It's a fun day.
Okay, you can leave, but Kurt Busch has to stay because he's 4th today. Kurt, a smile on your face when you walked over. Good run for you guys.
It was, man. Absolutely a great feeling with our Miller Lite team. And to have Kodak have a good run for today, Lennox, and great sponsors that have been sticking with us. And it just feels good to bring everybody back into the top 5 with a setup that we're working on for next year.
And it looked like it was fun racing out there today.
It was. We actually got to play up front and actually try to lead. And, we just had been off a little bit this year, and the setups just keep changing that quick. So trying something for next year, and it worked out for us, and thanks to Mobil 1 as well.
Kurt Busch comes home 4th. We go to Marty.
And let's hear from Jimmie Johnson. Walk me through your day. It was a little disappointing. You didn't have a fast car, but at times the car was pretty good.
We had a good car. I think track position is really important here, and when we had track position, we would run up front and be strong. Had some problems in the pits and then got caught behind and had to stay out on the stop where we had a green flag pit stop and the caution came out. So that really got us behind, but the guys did a great job, worked really hard today, gave me a great race car. We just got out of sequence and it bit us. So I hate it for us. We had a good day to capitalize on things. We didn't lose a lot, but we missed a chance to gain some points.
Wasn't the day he was looking for, but still a top 15 finish for Jimmie Johnson. Bill?
Thanks, Marty. 18th career win for Jeff Burton. Before the season started, he told the media, I just want to get back to where I used to be. That's at the front of the field. And that's exactly where he finished today. Jeff Burton gets his first win since Phoenix in October of 2001. And those are tears of joy. Championship standings with 8 races to go in the chase for the 2006 NASCAR Nextel Cup. Jeff Burton is in first place for the first time since 1999 after the race number 10 at California. It's 102 points back to Earnhardt Jr. in 7th. Jimmie Johnson 136 back. Kasey Kahne and Kyle Busch have their work cut out for them. Well, that's a huge win for Burton, especially coming off last week. Richard Childress has now won the first 2 races in the 2006 chase.
Won the last 3, as a matter of fact. And I love this race today because it had everything. Had a great battle down at the end and strategy. Some of it worked, some of it didn't work.
And this is big.
It's good for those guys. It really is. Because, Jeff Burton has been fighting to get back. Childress has been fighting to turn that team around. Man, they sure have done it.
So Jeff Burton in victory lane at Dover. Racing on TNT continues next week with NASCAR Busch Series Racing from Kansas, presented by the Marine. Coverage begins at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Then NBC is your home for race 3 of the chase for the Nextel Cup. It's the Banquet 400 with coverage beginning at 1:30 Eastern Time with the Bank of America Countdown to Green. Next on TNT, Kill Bill Volume 1 in the East and The Matrix in the West. We'll see you next week from Kansas City.